In this screencast, we're going to explore the concept of ratios. So the first thing that we're going to do is define what a ratio is. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities or numbers. So you'll see that that's on the screen. So once again, a ratio is a comparison of two quantities or numbers. So we're comparing things. So how do we write a ratio? What does a ratio look like? You'll see that I have an example off to the side. So this says 2 boys and 3 girls. That could mean many things, but we're just going to go with this fact right now. One important thing to remember about a ratio is that in all instances, it's going to tell you the order that you need to write this in. So let's say that our problem that we're working with is asking you to compare the number of boys to the number of girls. So we're comparing boys to girls. One way that we can write a ratio is using a colon. So if we're looking at boys to girls, we could say 2 colon 3. This colon right here means the word 2. So we would still say 2, 2, 3. A second way that we can write ratios is by using the word 2. So we could write 2, 2, 3. And then finally, the third way that we could write a ratio is by using a fraction or by writing it as a fraction. So we would put 2 over 3. This fraction line still means the word 2, so we would still say 2, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. This says Mark went grocery shopping. He bought 4 apples and 5 oranges. That looks important. Write a ratio to compare how many apples and oranges Mark bought. This is our order right here. Apples comes first and then oranges. So we're going to write our ratio three different ways, so that we get our practice with writing ratios. So it says write a ratio to compare how many apples and oranges Mark bought. So you bought 4 apples and 5 oranges. So if it helps, you may want to write apples to oranges so you remember the order. So we'll put 4, then we'll use the word 2, 5, 4 colon 5, and then 4 over 5. Once again, all of these are equal to one another. They all mean the same thing. Another example says a math club has 25 total members. Of those members, 12 are girls. Write a ratio comparing the number of girls to boys in the math club. So this is a little different. We're looking at girls to boys, but in this problem they tell us we have 25 total members, and then they tell us that there are 12 girls. So right now we don't know how many boys we have. So let's think about this. How can we figure that out? Well, we could use the idea that we have 25 total members and there are 12 girls. So if we subtract, we would get an answer of 13. That means that there are going to be 13 boys in our math club. Now we can go back to our ratio and write this out. So remember, we're doing girls to boys. So we're going to write 12 first, the word 2, 13, 12 colon 13, and 12 over 13. All of these mean the same thing. Now it's your turn. So why don't you try these two examples? First example, looking at Mrs. Bowman's class. Second example, Ben has 10 starbursts. So make sure you're reading the way that they want you to write the ratio and figure out how you would write that. You're going to write it 3 ways. So get the practice in with writing 3 different ways of our ratios. Once you think that you have the 3 ratios written out, go ahead and press play again and check your answers with mine. So you'll see that in the first one, they switch things up on you a little bit. You're writing these ratios as right-handed to left-handed. So 17 should come first, and then 7 should come second. In number 2, they actually gave you 3 different numbers, so you had to read very carefully with what 2 numbers you were supposed to compare. You were supposed to compare pink starburst to orange starburst. So there are 3 pink and 2 orange starbursts. So your ratios would look like mine on the screen. So go ahead and check your answers. And then we're just going to review very quickly what a ratio is. So once again, a ratio is a comparison of two quantities or numbers. And then remember that there are three ways to write ratios. In sixth grade, we are going to focus more on the first two ways, so using the colon and using the word to, but writing it as a fraction is okay as well. These are just a little more specific with how you would write a ratio when you're comparing two different numbers or quantities.